Three Forks.
Three Forks?
Wheat, Montana.
Wheat, Montana.
In Three Forks. It's at a junction.
How far away is that from here?
Hey, I thought we were going.
It's just 45 minutes
That's
out.
not far enough. I want to make sure.
Yeah, it's like 45 miles from Bozeman.
Okay, we're
So this side
recording
of
right
Bozeman.
now, so we'd like to go.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay, who are we talking to, David?
No, they're going to tell us.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Are you got? Oh,
It's going.
Okay,
It's going.
Okay. So, could you please introduce yourselves and say your name and how old you are?
Okay. I'm Katie Cordingley, and I am 32 years old.
32. I've been wondering. That was my way of finding out. Okay.
I'm Teigan Avery, and I'm 22 years old.
Awesome.
Okay.
And you are our Montana Common Power team leads, right? So we're going to ask you three things. Could you first tell us something about yourself that is meaningful, like not just like that you like cookies or something, but something that's meaningful about yourself?
Cookies can be meaningful.
Yeah, they can be.
No shade on that. It's fine. But yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go first on this one?
I suppose something about myself that's meaningful is I was born and raised in the Flathead Woods. Something about me that's meaningful is I was raised in the Flathead Valley, which is notoriously the reddest part of a red state. But I came to find myself as somewhat of a liberal. My family would call me a crazy liberal, but compared to liberals here, I'm moderate. And that kind of explains my political identity.
Yeah.
Is a bit of a blue person from a very red
Family.
county.
Okay,
And
very.
family.
Do you have an answer for how that happened?
Yeah. Yeah, what's wrong with you?
So I've tried to figure it out, and I think a lot of it was I did speech and debate in high school.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
In doing Lincoln Douglas debate, I had to come to decisions on my own on the prompts that we were given to argue, and I also had to evaluate arguments on both sides. And my teachers were probably also more liberal, so I think that combination of factors led me to have more progressive values than my family and the
Okay.
people in the county.
Okay.
Thank you. That's awesome.
That's super interesting.
I guess I'll take the political angle too. I think being from Montana has been a huge point of pride for me. I grew up in Helena. I was away from Montana for over a decade, and being from Montana was a huge part of that identity wherever I was. And I thought it was a very cool thing. And I think it's really neat to be really proud of where you're from.
Yeah.
And I think to have grown up in this state, and I think especially in the capital city, I felt very connected to politics from a very young age. And these weren't fancy people from far away. These were our neighbors. These were people's parents. It was just a very accessible way to come to learn about your ability to make an influence and to trust the people in power, ideally.
Okay.
And so I think that trust and that knowing really makes me care so much about having people who represent the good in humanity in DC or in the Capitol or in our city government. So I think that's like a blend of Montana pride and a little bit of power of the people.
Okay. I like that. Yeah, and being from a place that's not like the bluest ever and has like a little red, little blue here, it's like complexities in the people. Like you still love them. Same for you. You still love them, and so, but you're willing to, maybe more willing to listen to both sides a little bit.
Well, and I actually think Teigan brings a really fantastic perspective to our team and to Common Power, and that people who grew up knowing more people from both parties, I think, are what make Montanans, I think, understanding of both sides. I don't know that I could claim that for myself, because I think that I have been very, very minimally exposed to people who share different beliefs than I do. And so I think that that's something that's really important to reach out. But in the places that I have lived, it's not been a willful ignoring of different perspectives. It's just these are places where you're actually not hearing much opposition. And I think in Montana, our blue pockets are our city centers, and our red parts are these expansive rural areas. And if you're not spending a lot of time in rural Montana, you're likely not coming across a lot of people who have different views and beliefs than you do. And I think that's a limitation.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Second question.
Second question is, you know that analogy of like a blind person feeling an elephant, you feel different parts of the elephant, right? All the people that we're going to interact with on this trip have experienced different parts of Common Power, different connections. So we just want to kind of ask you one impression or thought that you've had about Common Power that like has at least compelled you to some degree to do the work you're doing with us, right? Yeah.
I guess like when I first got into this, I was just trusting Katie
Sure.
the whole way. I was like, well, Katie knows what she's doing, so I'll do what Katie does.
You're like, whatever you say, Katie.
But what's been really exciting to me about Common Power is talking with the volunteers and seeing the volunteer list and emailing them and getting their feedback on the things that they're doing and how excited they are to be a part of this and how much energy they have for my state, which many of them have not visited. That is really touching to me. Even though Montanans are pretty skeptical and suspicious of outsiders, that's been really cool how passionate these people are to help my state.
Is it weird? Are you like, why do they care?
Well, I mean, so I helped phone bank and quite a bit with the Senator Tester campaign in 2018, and one of the campaign kids was from San Francisco. And I was like, why are you in my state doing campaign activities? And I was definitely suspicious of him, Sam. I'm so sorry. But it makes sense now in that, like, if we want a progressive America, we have to go into different states that aren't our home states. And what benefits a state you're not from benefits you down the line. So it makes a lot more sense to me now that it's not only in their interest, but all of our interests if states have better leadership.
That's great. That's like,
really
that
great.
sounds like Common Power right there.
Yeah,
That's
that's really
that's
great.
exactly us.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I would say that my coming to know Common Power was spread out over a longer time. And I remember when David first talked to me about what Common Power was,
Wait, when was this?
It was about a year ago here when I stopped through. Or
it probably the first time was one of my Seattle visits where I stopped by your office and you were like, it was right before you went to Selma.
okay.
And you kind of explained this loose idea. I mean, it was not loose to you, but it was like,
No, it's good. It's good. It was loose.
She was like, it was ludicrous. It was.
Don't step back. I just don't want you to fall
I'm
into-
aware of my background. But yeah, so it was a loose understanding of this thing that was really pulling David from something that I thought was his first passion of teaching. And so I thought this must be a really big deal if this is something that he's wanting to focus his entire time on. So then I think that I truly did not understand even remotely in a way that I could tell somebody else what Common Power does until about July. And so I think that one thing that brought me to this is that it's giving me a way to feel empowered to have done or tried something this election cycle. So that's on my personal side that like I think in 2016 I was working in DC. I felt surrounded by politics and I also felt I couldn't engage because like my work was going to happen regardless of who was in these offices. We were going to have to lobby the House and Senate regardless of who was there, regardless of who the president was, and I cared tremendously, but I didn't feel professionally like I could do something. And I think this has given me a way to feel like, okay, no matter what happens, like I came out this time. And then I think I would agree with Teigan on the volunteer front. It's very moving to have people invested in our state. And then on the staff side of Common Power, seeing the diversity and the youth and the energy of the team, and that these are people who are purely dedicated to lifting up not only Montana, but all of these other states as well, is pretty moving too. So I think it's a three-part answer.
That's cool.
That's
okay.
great. Thank you.
This has been really good.
Yeah, we have a third
There's
question.
a third
don't-
question.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're trying to remember what it is.
Yes.
It's about hope.
It was about hope. Yeah.
And I don't know if we landed on it. I think that's part of the problem. So.
You can workshop some ideas with us.
So yeah, we will. We
See what
will.
yields the most hopeful answer.
Yeah. So.
I like to hope, dreams, and fears.
Yeah.
Hopes, dreams, and fears. We don't want to end on any fears.
Fears, hopes, and dreams.
What do you hope the future looks like? What do you, and like the immediate future maybe?
Like in 2021.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like it's such a big thing,
It is.
right?
Yeah.
What's one thing that you hope to see in 2021?
Okay.
What you got it already. What is
Yeah. I mean, it's kindness. I really hope in 2021 we as a country
it?
feel kind toward each other and united toward a common goal of just being good human beings on this planet that we share. I feel like my hopes are very small right now because we are missing some of the most fundamental pieces of our puzzle. So I would say I am hopeful that 2021.
That is a low bar. She wants kindness.
No, there are signs. I've seen these signs, "Make America Kind Again."
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I haven't seen them, but I could have written them, I guess.
sure.
But I would have been more original.
I think it's a great thing to ask for, and it's such a. I mean, I hear that and I go, oh wow, it's a revolutionary thing. Let's be kind to each other. Okay.
What I hope for in 2021 is competency, and that I can trust what my leaders are telling me and believe them and have full faith that they're making decisions in the best interest of all Americans, not just elite Americans. So I just hope for competent leadership.
Okay.
That's good.
my
That's also a
dream.
low
I know.
bar.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
People that-
We're going for
Smart,
satisfactory. We want.
Smart, nice
Wait.
people.